What's up, everybody? This is Q1, and I am back with Beauty in Black Part 2, the second half. Y'all, Season 1, Episode 9, Blind Rage. So, before I start, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Click the notification bell button so you can be updated on every video that I drop. Alright? So, as we left off, they stole Sylvie. Delinda and Body stole Sylvie. Kimmy ran over Body. Who else? Uncle Norman shot up Charles' car and blew it up. All right. And Horace called the judge for him to meet the next morning. Okay. That's all I remember. Okay. So anyway, part 2, episode 9, y'all, starts with Kimmy. Baby, when I tell y'all she ran over Body, like, I really need to know, what was that energy, sis? Like, we had needed that energy in the last, and you was too nice. Okay, this is how we need you to show up. Moving forward, I think everybody will agree that we need you to show up, but get a little, you know, get a little frog in your throat, sis. You hear how I can talk like a man? And do you hear that manly voice? Okay, put a little bass in your voice, sis. All right, then we can take you a little more serious. But you got the gist of it, okay? Because you did the damn thing. I'm very proud of you. All right. So in the next scene, baby, so Roy, Mallory, they see the car. You know, they got out the car because you know they saw Charles' car burning. Baby, he ran over to the car. And, you know, automatically he believed it's Charles. So he started running up to the car. The fireman and the policemen are holding him back. He was like, that's my brother. That's my brother. And I was like, well, sir, I thought you hated your brother. But whatever. We see Roy got a little softer side. Not too soft. Not too much. But he got one. All right. So Judge Harold called Norman to ask why is Horace contacting him. Norman was like, I don't know. My wife just died. Baby, I ain't got time. So Judge Harold was like, well, what am I supposed to do? Norman was like, go see him. And so he was like, I'm supposed to go see him in a few hours. Norman was like, listen, I don't give a damn. My wife didn't say that verbatim. I don't give a damn. My wife died. I ain't got time. If he asks you to go see him, go see him. So he was like, well, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to say? First of all, you better not say nothing about nothing. Okay? So this is what we found out. That's the particular judge that got the people locked up, or the people that gave these charges, all of these unnecessary charges to the young people so they can go work for Jules and Norman. Because y'all know that strip club is like a little, is that what they call trafficking or whatever they, you know. So the judge is in on it. So it's the judge, it's Norman, and it's Jules. And as we know, what's her name, Kimmy has already told Horace everything. So so the judge, y'all, he started shaking like booty meat. He's scared at this point because he was like, I done retired. He didn't say that. But basically, he's retired. He don't know what he should do. And he was like, I don't want to be on nobody's radar. So the judge at this point, oh yeah, he's the center of all of it, and he's retired. So he was like, listen, I don't know who you most scared of. He said, I don't know who I'm most scared of. I don't know who's that. Did Norman say that? I don't know who I'm most scared of, you or your brother. And so Norman was like, you should be scared of me, because if I turn in evidence on you, your retirement life, your big house, everything we was funding, peddling the money through the strip club for the, you know, funding your retirement, baby, you gonna go to jail. All right. And you know Norman crazy. You know you can make it happen. So basically what he's saying, you go see Horace and you keep it cute. Keep it cute. Okay? Don't do nothing else. But just keep it cute. All right. So now Horace makes it down the road, him and his cane, and he see Charles's car, and he wants to know if it was Charles. Nobody knows. So I guess my whole thing is y'all still see the damn car still on fire. They're trying to put the fire out, and y'all keep asking if it's Charles. They have to do all. You know what? Rich people sometimes live in a land of delusion. But I guess they can get so much access that they just live in this land of delusion. I would like to be rich and delusional. Okay? Thank you. So, I really believe that was the dancer, because the dancer robbed him, stole his keys, stole his money. But everybody think that it's Charles at this point. I said that last video. Y'all can go check it out. But I think it was the dancer. So anyway, Horace tells Mallory, summons everybody to my house, point blank in the period. So Roy, a.k.a. Malik Eldebarge Wright, he was crying. I was like, again, I thought you did not like your brother. The way y'all was arguing, like y'all was finna come to blows. Y'all don't like each other, but you crying. Okay, little soft side, not too much, just a little bit. All right. So in the next scene, we see this woman on top of this man doing her bid, doing her business. We see that is Mama Pastor Olivia Bellery. Okay, baby, she is popping that whoop coochie. Popping her whoop coochie all over that young boy. Girl. Okay. So the dude name is Tony. And the way she was talking, I would like to think she was one of the ones that set up Horace when they all went to go be, when Horace took out that gun and unalived all of those people. That was Olivia's doing. I was like, nah, I knew they said the lady was crazy. She said she wasn't, she was too fried short of a Happy Meal, but I ain't know she was that short. Okay? Lord. So the dude, Tony, he all in love with her. And she was like, baby, you don't love me. You just love my money. And he was like, no, I love everything about you. And these young hoes can't compare to you. And she said, you better know it. Baby, that's what I'm talking about. So Mallory calls Mama Pastor Olivia Bellery, okay? And she tells her that's been an accident and to meet up at Horace's house. And she asked, was it Charles? Mallory was like, yes. How do you know? And so she hangs up the phone. So at this point, they just automatically, we all know it was Norman, but they already know that it was Norman. But they still trying to figure out if that was Charles. So Mama Bellery says, Norman, unalive my son. Baby, these people are crazy, okay? They put the cray in crazy, okay? So Mallory then contacts attorney Barney. She tells him that Charles was in a car accident and that he's unalived. And y'all already know Charles and Barney was the sneaky links. That was his boo thing. That was his old man on the side, but everybody can't know just because Barney is an attorney and he doesn't want to be judged, or he doesn't want to not have a job based on his sexuality. So that's why he keep that kind of quiet, okay? So she was like, listen. So at this point, he is distraught. Like, you got to keep that together, because you can't let these people know you distraught and you sleeping with these people's son, okay? Keep it together, okay? So he trying to keep it together. So he go over, get up, get dressed, go head over to the Horace house, all right? So in the next scene, Kimmy and Angel, they driving around in the car looking for Sylvie. And Kimmy at this point is fueling. And Angel is trying to diffuse her, trying to calm her down. And she's pissed. It's like she not hearing nothing, she not seeing nothing. And she want her sister away from Delinda. And so I was just looking at Angel like, why are you diffusing her at this point? Because if it was your sister, if it was your daughter, you would have that same smoke. Okay, so she not supposed to have that smoke? I think not. Anyway, y'all gonna stop playing with Kimmy. Okay, so we get to the crime scene. Here come Jules, aka Otis, and the police hands him the watch. The watch was supposed to be taken down to evidence, and he read the inscription on the watch, y'all. And the inscription says, "From Barney to Charles, from Barney." And he keeps the watch. He was like, well, how long do I get to keep it? Because he's trying to keep that tight-lipped. Because we already know how Horace feel about, even though he feel one way about his son being gay, he's mad about that, but I feel like he's really mad about himself because low-key, Horace like men too. He even if he like watching them, you want to be with a man in some capacity. But he at his age and his generation, I guess he's not in that space of freedom. But it is what it is. So Barney walks up to Jules, and he at this point he don't even know that Jules is finding out, has seen the watch or whatever. So they just kind of keep it low key. He don't say nothing. So Jules is in his car. He calls Norman and asks Norman, "Did you do it?" And at this point, y'all already know Norman don't trust Jules as far as he can throw him. I was like, wow. Okay, so Jules tell Norman, "You need to lay low." Jules said, "I ain't doing a damn." I mean, Norman said, "I ain't doing a damn thing." He didn't say that, but he said that. Okay, so Jules tells Norman. Norman tells Jules, Horace ain't the big dog, the one you need to be worried about. So he was like, "It's Olivia." So Jules was like, "Olivia? She all up in the church." And so Jules didn't know she was crazy. He didn't know, she the real big dog, okay? She the big Olivia, not the little one, all right? So he was like, "Well, why nobody ain't tell me?" Norman was like, "It's some things need to be left unsaid, okay?" So Norman was like, "Yeah, I did it, and it made me happy. Because once again, they unalived his wife." So Norman tells Jules about Judge Harold and going to visit, Judge Harold was going to visit Horace the next day. Now, what Norman does not know is the stuff that happened with his wife was all set up by Jules, not his brother, not Olivia, but Jules. Olivia just know about the scheme and the scam that Ty set up to come to us with the bullshit at the strip club. That's what she know about. Just wanted to throw that out there. It wasn't the other Bellarys. It is Jules that had his wife unalive. Because he be doing some stuff, y'all. Jules be doing some stuff. So Jules called Calvin to kidnap Harold. He was like, "I need you to grab somebody." Of course, I'm gonna say it. He wants Calvin to kidnap Harold because I think he's gonna do something to Harold. I think he's gonna unalive Harold so they can keep this secret that they got going. So Norman says that he has something to do, and the way it's sounding like he's finna go over to Horace's house and gloat, because as he stated, "I ain't got nothing to lose. I just lost my wife." Okay, so Kimmy, y'all, when I tell y'all Kimmy, man, it pissed me off. Kimmy called her mama, and she asked her mama what happened to Sylvie. She asked if her mom's boyfriend raped Sylvie, and the mama said no. That crackhead said no. She was like, "He good to me and he good to her." Yeah, I bet he is. Okay. So Kimmy asked her mama, "Where's Sylvie?" Her rag said, "I don't know." So you don't know where your 16-year-old daughter is? That's insane. So, and you don't know who she with. So Kimmy was like, "You know what? At this point, How much did Body and Delinda pay you to take Sylvie? Because y'all know she on drugs and she'll do anything for the crack. Okay? I was like, oh my God. You let these people take your daughter. You let these people take your youngest daughter. Not only that, you allowing this man right here to rape your daughter. Girl, I guess. So we get over to Horace's house, y'all. Roy, Mallory, Jules, Varney, and then eventually Olivia shows up. Horace asks Jules what did he find out, and Jules tells Horace it was Charles in that car. Once again, there was no, what they call it? Nothing was done to figure out forensics or nothing, whatever it all is, to find out if it was Charles or not. Everybody just keep assuming that was him. I'm telling y'all, that was that dude, the dancer from the club. So Horace definitely think it was Norman. And Norman did do it. I will say that. Norman shot up the man's car and had it blown up. All right. So Olivia walks in. I told y'all eventually she came in. So in this part, she came in crying, and she told everyone she told Charles not to go home, and she did, but he decided to go home anyway because he just don't listen. He likes to be defiant. So Olivia is pissed off, and rightfully so. Horace is asking Jules to bring Norman to me. So I think this was the part where Jules was like, well, do we really think he did it? What you think? You know he told you that, but I could be wrong because I don't remember that part. So Roy asked his mama, why you looking at me like that? And she was like what? And so Roy was like, the same way Dad is looking at me, like as if y'all wish it was me and not Charles. So Horace was like, I sure in the hell wish, he didn't say that, but I sure in the hell wish it was you. I was like, oh God, I could never have that type of hatred for my two. Okay, because this is some deep, baby. When I tell you they hate them children, they hate them Menendez brothers. And so I was like, well, Roy must be high right now, because y'all know he on that cocaine real bad. And Horace was like, yeah, I wish it was you. I was like, wow. So Roy says, y'all didn't give me what I wanted, as y'all didn't give us what we wanted or whatever we needed. And so Horace was like, we gave you everything. And Roy was like, no, you didn't give me no emotion, you didn't give me no hug, no I love you, nothing. Not nothing. I was like, okay. They gave them everything tangible, everything money can do, everything money can buy, plus money, vacations, trips. God probably got them out of so much trouble that bought their way out of all type of trouble. So that's a lot. So Roy tell them that y'all both suck as parents. And he wasn't lying. Now, Roy, aka Malik El DeBarge, right? He a lot of things, but he didn't lie about that. His mama and daddy is trash. I don't care how much Olivia try to con her way in the Lord's house, baby. You can't even fool the Lord, and at this point, you ain't fooling me, okay? Because you ain't. But y'all, let me not say that, because Olivia gonna come and throw that damn knife at me like she threw it at Roy. I mean, she pitched it and it went right across his face onto the wall. She said, baby, I missed that on purpose. Oh, child. She said, but if you keep playing with me, the next time, I'm not gonna miss. I said, Lord, this lady hate her son, okay? So Mallory go outside to Roy, and he doesn't want her help. He was like, get away from me. I don't want, So Mallory reminds him that your parents are in there watching, and we need to look the part. Y'all know Mallory is all about appearance, okay? She have to look the part, even if it's just a lie. She'll live a lie, but to be in that throne that she's in, to be in that position that she's in, She will live out the lie. Keep the lie alive. All right. So Mallory reminds him, this is the good thing about your brother being unalive. You get the shares from his company. I was like, oh. So he was like, I don't get the shares because he was murdered. And she was like, yes, but only if it's not a family member that did it. Well, of course, we know Norman did it, but we also know Norman ain't gonna go to jail. So, don't want to go to jail, so they might trump up something in order for him to get those shares. There are a lot of stipulations in this will about these shares, about the company for this entire family. Like, this daddy or mom or whoever had to be the entire worst to Horace and to Norman. They had to be married, or they had to stay together. And so apparently, going back to when Olivia was in the bed with Tony, she only gets a stipend, and she wants she wants to take everything from him. But if anything happens to Horace, everything goes to the boys, not her. She wants everything. She was like, for that hellhole I had to be in. When I tell you, that lady probably had to endure some pain, which is why she's out. Those two hate each other as well. Anyway, so Mallory was like, I'm going to hug you, and I don't love you, but I'm going to hug you because they're watching. And so she hugs him, and he hugs her back, but she don't mean it, and he doesn't mean it. And I tell you, Mallory is a cold-blooded one, and I'm here for it. She don't give a damn. You understand? She don't give a damn about none of them. All she want is to run that Beauty in Black business, okay? So Kimmy's still mad, and rightfully so. She's constantly trying to call Sylvia's phone. Sylvia's not answering the phone, and then she get a call from Rain. Rain is still in the hospital because y'all know Rain had them booty shots, them whatever that was, that paint in the can. T.S. Madison, I forgot T.S. Madison's name on here, but she stuck it in her boop boop, and she had bad complications from that. She almost died. And so Rain, she was like, I know you're mad, but when you get mad, there is no stopping you. They got this lady's sister. And the same thing they did to her, they're going to do to Sylvie. So I don't understand what y'all talking about. That lady ain't trying to hear it, and I'm glad she ain't trying to hear it. It ain't no calming down. Not until I get my sister with me. It's bad enough that my mom's boyfriend is already screwing her. Now y'all want me to just play nice? And I can't go. Y'all want me to play nice about my sister? Yeah, no. Kimmy, as we seen, Kimmy is like that type. You can mess with me, but don't mess with my family. It's not my family, but my sister. Okay. So Rain gives Kimmy Delinda's address because they're looking for a car because that car broke down because she ran over body. But she thinks she unalive body. But I swear, I thought I saw her body moving. And so I don't know. But Rain gives Kimmy Delinda's address. And this was a back and forward banter, which y'all know I cannot stand with these Tyler Perry shows. And again, as I stated, if y'all can't understand why this girl is pissed, then y'all don't need to be her friend at this point. Y'all should be like, all right, let's go, but let's ride. What time we leaving out? Let's go get your sister, okay? So Barney is in the kitchen in the Bellary, in the main Bellary house, in the kitchen, in his fifis, because he think his LaBoo is unalive, right? So Mallory comes in the kitchen and she was like, can you go get a soup from Charles' house? And she was like, what, a spare key? So Barney was like, I have a key. She was like, you got a key? And she was like, listen, I need you to get it together. I need you to man up. So I'm thinking that Mallory at this point kind of got an inkling that him and Charles is a thing. I don't know. So Barney goes over to Charles's house so he can get the soup. He sits on the sofa. He's really crying. Now he can get it out because he thinks he's by himself. So we see somebody walk across, And then they walk across again. But by then, they come into the living room. And he sees Barney sitting in the living room. So when I tell y'all, Barney was like, what the hell? It was Charles. I told y'all. He was the one. It was the dancer. So Barney was like, you were supposed to be unalived. And Charles was like, no, I'm right here. And so he was like, I got robbed. Charles tell him, I got drugged, robbed. And at this point, Charles already know that his uncle Norman tried to unalive him. And he tells Barney that it was the stripper that stole everything from me. And I'm glad that he's unalive because he shouldn't have never stole my stuff. And I was like, oh my God, these people are heartless. Y'all like... So Charles was like, so Barney was like, okay, your dad, your mom, your dad, everybody's crying and looking for you. So Charles was like, me? Because that's not what they do. That's not what my family displays. So you tripping. So he was like, you know what? They don't love me. So Barney was like, I love you. And Charles was like, I'm talking about my family, fool. My family don't love me. And so he said, you know what? We just going to let them suffer for a little while. So they sat at the house. And so we get to the next scene. And the Linda is at the house sitting there. Kimmy took that big shotgun, shot up the house. Baby, she was fighting the Linda to the guards, okay? And she was like, where my sister at? So, the Linda got a couple of good ones in. So Kimmy had that chair. The gun fell. Kimmy had that chair up to the Linda chest. And she was like, where's my sister? Where's my sister? So Angel come running in. And he was like, let her talk. So he pushed Kimmy back. She picked up the gun. And so she was like, where my sister at? So Delinda was like, I got your sister at a truck stop where a whole bunch of truckers plucking her. And at this point, Angel was still holding Delinda like this on the wall. Kimmy took that gun. All of this was gone. I said, Lord Jesus, so what we gonna do? Y'all, I know I be so dramatic, but sometimes these shows be really good. I was like, okay. I was not expecting that. So anyway, I do not know when I'm gonna come with the next one. I may come with, I don't know, y'all. I need to get the other ones on Netflix. I need to get them done before I can go ahead and get in rotation of Beauty in Black. Okay. So anyway, on your way out, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Click the notification bell button so you can be updated on the videos that I drop. Y'all, please be sure to like my video. Thank you for the new people. Thank you for those that are still here. I hope y'all like my content, and I will catch y'all in the next video.